Once, Elvis said that his girlfriend Priscilla Presley and his manager Colonel Tom Parker are the finest people in his life. Now, in the last video, Colonel Tom Parker vs. Memphis Mafia, we did talk about the issues of Memphis Mafia with Colonel Tom Parker in detail. You can find the link to the video in the description box. But in today's video, we're also going to see the relationship between Elvis's girlfriend Priscilla Presley and the Memphis Mafia. Joe Esposito recalled the day when for the first time he saw Priscilla. There was a room with the Memphis Mafia members and Elvis sitting, and Priscilla, who was 14 at the time, walked in. Joe found her quite beautiful and even said that she was very mature.
First time he met Priscilla, I happened to be at the house that evening when she was introduced to him. And when she walked in the door, I mean, a very pretty young lady, but I didn't know how old she was at the time. And I figured she was about 16, but at the time she was 14, I find out later. But she was very mature, very quiet at first, because naturally walked in the room with all these guys in there.
Jerry Schilling felt that he had to be extra cautious when talking to Priscilla. Elvis was quite a jealous person, and there was a certain limit which the Memphis Mafia members had to maintain with Priscilla. Even a bit of affection on a humanitarian level could be misunderstood by Elvis and could cause bad consequences.
Priscilla and I, and we were the youngest in the group, felt the shyest at the time. And it's never anything that we sit down and talked about or anything, but I definitely felt it. Years later, we've kind of talked about it, you know, and it was hard to do. Elvis was a very jealous person, okay, with anybody. And there's a line that you had to be very careful of even if my affection for Priscilla was just on a human level, you had to be careful how you express that.
Once, Elvis got offended by Jerry when he asked Priscilla about her health and well-being. We discussed this incident in detail in one of our recent videos, so do check it out, Elvis Anger Issues. Marty Lacker, one of the Memphis Mafia members, felt that after getting married, Priscilla tried her best to get Elvis away from the Memphis Mafia members. She, along with Colonel Tom Parker, tried her best to bring this change. Elvis, on the other hand, did not want this change and preferred them to be around. Billy, on the other hand, thought that after marriage, Elvis had actually cut off from the group. The members even thought that Elvis did not actually want a marriage and was forced to. Larry Geller remembered another emotional incident. In 1972, he got a call from his friend Johnny Rivers, who said that Elvis needed him. Elvis was heartbroken after Priscilla had broken up with him and needed his friends to be around. They later met in Vegas after a show and hugged.
Johnny Rivers and I became very, very close friends, and I began working for him. One afternoon, I get a phone call from John. He said, "Larry, Elvis needs you, man." I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "He broke up with Priscilla. She left him. He's going through a lot." He called me up and he told me he's going through a lot of things. I just know that you've got to be in his life again. Let's go to Vegas. I said, "Okay, let's go." So Johnny and his girlfriend and a few other people and I, we went to Vegas. We sat in one of Elvis's booths. During the show, Elvis introduced Johnny to the audience. When the show was over, the maitre d' came up and said, "Elvis would like y'all to come backstage." I hadn't seen Elvis in a couple of years. We went backstage. Elvis came out of his dressing room, he walked up to me, and we just hugged.
Many believe that Priscilla left Elvis because she was in love with Mike Stone, but Lamar Fike feels differently. He feels that Priscilla wanted to leave Elvis beforehand. This was because the relationship was one-sided. Elvis did not consider himself married, and Priscilla did not want such a relationship. Priscilla surely loved Elvis and wanted to separate him from the Memphis Mafia. Elvis did not like someone talking to Priscilla and was quite possessive about her. Do you think they were both part of a toxic relationship? Do tell us in the comments. We'll meet you next time with more stories of Elvis's life.